record this one too?
No. I don't record on my part. I would like to call for reports. So, has anyone got a report on behalf of Cheryl, our president? Community, Cheryl? No. Membership, Des. International market? Get up here.
From an international point of view, donations in kind, emailed the other day or text the other day to say that we want to send anything overseas. The last container of Timor will be towards the end of October. So at the moment, I've got a van full of school supplies and wooden toys from Morrison House up in Mount Evelyn. So if anyone else has got any other thoughts, somebody we wanted to send some sewing machines over. That wasn't anyone from the club, was it? So that's the international one. We've got a DIK do the meeting tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, so at 4:30. On the next list.
Thanks, Des. Got the Secretary's report. Arun, he was going to dial in, but he's unwell. Youth, Simon, have you got anything you'd like to add? Come and see here, Peter.
Experience if you're not standing in front of that, walking to that.
Yeah, I know. Only that we've got the Rider Day coming up on the 28th of October. I did receive an email from Bob. Thank you. There may be another date that they're wanting us to help out with on the 1st. I think it is. I was trying to find it on my phone. I think it's the 1st of December, but I'll get those details and clarify them. But at this stage, I think Cheryl's responded to be our third. So it'll be you, myself, and Cheryl for the rider. That was it.
Thank you, Simon. Treasurer report, Jude.
Treasurer's report. The club will be donating to end polio as part of the foundation month. And at the last board meeting, we have pledged $1,000. So that will equate to approximately 1,500 Australian dollars. So that's on behalf of the club. Members' subscriptions, there's just a few that are still owing and a few are on payment plan. So that's all good there. In October, is Mental Health Month, and we'll plan a Lift the Lid evening. For the older folk, they will know that you wear a hat, bring along a donation, and then it will be judged on the night, the best hat. I've talked to Barb and we think we may have that on the night with the primary school speech contest speakers, and they can be the judges of the hats.
So nice.
Something to come up in, that was October, the last meeting in October. That's my treasurer's report. Do you want the Almana news?
Yes, please.
Almana. Okay, as we know, Cheryl has been missing in action for a couple of weeks. She's had major operation and is now recuperating at home and resting up under strict orders. And we'll be back on deck shortly. And myself, as you may be aware, I've had a breast surgery last Friday to remove a small lump, and now recovering, and we go tomorrow waiting results. So we go back to the surgeon tomorrow. But all seem to be in favour. It's only a small minor lump. And
Excellent.
thank you to my chauffeur and my carer. Marg Battle has been called interstate to attend to her husband in Queensland and who had a medical episode while he was there. So he is undergoing further tests to find out what's happening. Then on another note, we had Helen McDonald phone me to say Lorraine Law had a fall and she'd had an operation. She had a planned operation, but that had been cancelled. But then after having the fall, she had this operation. I'm not sure. I think it was in her leg that she broke some bones, but I've got to clarify that with David. So Lorraine Law is David Law's wife, and he was the past president of Rotary Club of Lilydale. And if you remember, he was up on the stage at the 60th anniversary. And that's all. And thank you for all your messages over the last few weeks.
Thank you very much, Hugh. Foundation, does anyone have any information from Marg? She's away, but foundation? No? Program? Nothing to report? Okay. So we might move on to our... why don't we have fellowship for 10 to 15? And once you guys have finished your dinner, then we'll go on to the speakers. Thank you. So tonight we have Lili and Nick from Feed One and Feed All, Feed One, Feed All, I should say, local charity rescuing food and turning it into thousands of nutritious meals each week for people doing it tough in our local community. Lili is the founder and president of FIFA, of Feed One, Feed All, and a foodie, a chef and teacher. She loves food and loves sharing food. Lili teaches people with disabilities to cook, equipping them with the essentials life skills and promoting their independence. Nick is a community relations personnel from Feed One Feed All, with a voice as big as his heart, apparently. Nick Kay brings a rich and colourful background to his role, a performer, mentor and sustainability entrepreneur. Nick's story spans railways, opera, recycled timber, aged care, cabaret, and community care, all delivered with warmth, wit and wisdom. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I've all got a smile. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right now, far too many people in our communities are going to bed hungry. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Kritikos. Call me Nick K. Easier to spell, easier to remember, and slightly less my Greek wedding. I'm the community relations person for Feed One, Feed All. FOFA is both for short. And I'm absolutely delighted to be here tonight. Tonight's even more special because I'm joined by our founder, Lili Young, as we share what we've been cooking up, both literally and figuratively, and tell our story and the difference we're making across our local communities. Our mission at FOFA is simple and powerful: to transform surplus food into meals made with love and then deliver them into the hands of people who need them most with dignity, care, and compassion. FOFA began in June 2021, right in the middle of the COVID-19 epidemic, but more urgently in response to the devastating storms that smashed our area at that time. Homes were destroyed, businesses were flooded, power supplies were down, people were isolated and vulnerable. In that moment of need, Lili, I call her our pocket rocket, sprang into action. Lili is pure heart, pure energy, and the inspiration behind everything we do at FOFA. She rallied a group of friends and set up an emergency relief kitchen in Kalorama. And for many months on weekends, they cooked ready-made hot meals using rescued food for the affected residents and emergency first responders. What started simply as an act of kindness and caring quickly became something more, and soon other community groups and agencies were reaching out for the meals. We registered the charity and became Feed One, Feed All, a grassroots, volunteer-powered kitchen now based at Light Chapel in Scoresby, committed to rescuing food and restoring dignity. Lili was in the middle of that devastating time there, and I've heard about it, she's talked about it to me, but I'm just going to ask her to just talk about how it felt to be in the middle of that particular time. Lili?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us here tonight. Do you all recall that 2000, the storm that we threw your Rangers? Yeah, it was freezing cold. We were up there, and it was right in the middle of COVID. And even to get up there initially was a problem because they had fallen trees, so we couldn't get up there even in the first few days. But the weekend came through, and then I rallied some friends together. We packed my car. I just bought a brand new car. And then we packed it with woks, electric woks, whatever we had. We had gas stoves, gas cylinders, and we took it up there. We set up a makeshift kitchen, and we basically cooked whatever we could get hold of to feed the community that was coming to the reserve to get hot food. So a lot of people that were stuck at home with no power, no gas, nothing, right in the middle of the cold. So the people that were able to come up to Kalorama, they were able to take food back to their friends, their neighbours and so forth. So yeah, we did what we could, and we were there cooking. We had one guy who actually donated venison wings to us. He hunted down a deer, minced it, and we made meatballs all day. Kalorama, we had and we made 2 pots of meatballs, and we just kept serving that all day until we finished. And then we started, I thought, well, the community that were coming out, they all wanted to be part of, the whole group. So they came to socialise with us, and we started them, teaching them how to make curry puffs. More hands make lighter work. So the next thing you know, the community that were in there helping us make curry puffs as well. But they were chopping, they were doing, basically helping us feed everybody else. So that was how it started. And from there, like Nick says, people just basically contacted me, asked whether we could provide meals. So moving forward, then I started cooking meals from home. It started with about 50 meals. And before you know it, I had people calling for about 200 meals. And I devastated. I damaged my glass cooktop because I was cooking so much food on it. The heat actually shattered my glass cooktop, and I had to stop. And then from there, we went to another community kitchen to produce meals, and we issued permits to travel, and we were from there doing about 300 meals in the one day. And so from there, we moved around. We were homeless on several occasions until now we found the Light Chapel. And I'm going to give it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What do we do at FOFA? At FOFA, we rescue food that would otherwise go to waste from supermarkets, markets, growers, and food businesses, and combine it with donated and purchased ingredients to create beautiful, nutritious, ready-to-eat meals. We distribute over 1,350 meals each week, all cooked with love and care by our passionate volunteers. And the growth since the early days when Lili was cooking up at Kalorama has been remarkable. In 2022, in the first year when we registered our business, we produced 15,000 meals. In 2023, that rose to 27 meals. And last year, we produced an astonishing 43,000 meals that went out to people who were facing food insecurity. And this year, I think we're on track to 55,000 meals, which is just an amazing thing, working 2 days or 3 days a week out of a kitchen. That growth is something that we are really, really deeply proud of, but we also know that the demand is growing faster than we are. We estimate that the actual need in our region alone is closer to 200,000 meals. That's an astonishing thing to think about. 200,000 meals a year are needed in our area. And that's why we're working towards a second kitchen and exploring targeted food programs for schools where too many children are arriving at school without a proper meal. Who do we serve? Our meals are distributed through 28 partner agencies across the city of Knox, Maroondah and the Yarra Ranges. These include local councils and churches, neighbourhood and community houses, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander organisations, refugees and migrant support services. The people receiving our meals come from all walks of life. Elderly citizens living alone, refugees and newly arrived families, people living with chronic illness or mental health challenges, women and children fleeing domestic violence, people living in cars, and yes, in tents. We have a tent city at the moment in Rigwood Lake, and a lot of the food that we cook also somehow ends up with those people living in tents. I mean, I grew up in the 60s and 70s in Australia, and I keep on saying I entertain in aged care facilities, and I keep on saying to everybody, how lucky were we to have grown up in that particular time, because we never saw any of this. And that's what's happening today, people living in tents in one of the richest, most beautiful countries in the world. And it's just so hard to get your head around. Young families facing mortgage stress receive our meals. As to a new category, the working poor. The working poor. You've heard that phrase all over the place, the working poor. One person working, making $1,000 a week, the rent is $700 a week. He's trying to support a family, run a car. They're the working poor. They're the people that also get our meals, and also people recovering from illness and hospitalisation. And there's many, many more, often struggling silently and unseen in ways none of us here can begin to imagine. These people, they're not strangers. They're our neighbours. They're our neighbours and living amongst us. I remember one of our agency partners telling me about a single mum with 3 kids who cried when she received our meals. Not just because of the food, but because someone cared. She said, think about the last time someone made you a meal. How did that feel? Now imagine me receiving a meal from a stranger who just simply cares. And that's what FOFA does. We remind people that they're not invisible, that they matter, and that someone sees them. The heart of FOFA, of course, is our volunteers. We are not about the people, only about the people we serve. It's also about the community we build inside FOFA. Our kitchen is a warm, safe, inclusive, and joyful space where volunteers of all ages and backgrounds come together to cook, connect, laugh, heal, and belong. Some come back to give. Some come to heal from grief, change, or mental illness. Others come for friendship, purpose, and the joy of working side by side with other people. As Rotarians, you all know what that's all about and how wonderful it feels. In our kitchen, they find connection, and every tray that they pack is not only filled with nutrition, but with love. And you know, none of this would be possible without this lady. She doesn't just lead, she lives FOFA. I'd like to hand over to her now to share a week in our kitchen and what that looks like. I'll tell you, the first time, my background is business, and the first time I walked into that place to see what was going on, I thought, this is the most disorganised place I've ever seen. I called it organised chaos. Yet, at the end of the day, at lunchtime, she has this wonderful tradition of everybody sitting down, stopping and eating a meal together and talking and mixing with each other. And also, at the end of the day, in this craziness, this wonderful food comes out. And it's all due to this wonderful lady. So Lily, tell us about a crazy week at FOFA.
Okay. The craziness comes in when we first started on a Friday. We only used to cook on a Friday only. So we go in there, given the one day, we go in there, we try to maximise everything. So, you know, we've got everybody running around picking, and with the rescue vegetables, often we get what we're given. And then you've got volunteers, you know, they've got great ideas, they want to grab the best vegetables, don't touch these. So you've got people fighting for food to start off with. So this is where the chaos that Nick was talking about. And they're fighting for the equipment in the kitchen as well. Okay, we only have 2 ovens, and everybody's trying to get their food in first, to cook first. But not only that, we've got to chill the food at the end of the session. So everybody's trying to put their food into the blast chiller. But this is what chaos is Nick's referring to. But our week starts on a Monday. We go in there, we raid our freezer for a frozen protein. So the protein sets our menu for the week. So Costco recently gave us 200 kilograms of mince. So a lot of our meals we're popping a lot of mince into our meals. We also have chicken, we have sausages, we have a butcher that donates sausages to us. So we defrost it on a Monday. And then on a Wednesday when we go there, and Jenny's been cooking with us for 1 week last week. Yeah. So Wednesday is when it's a slow start. So we recently started on a Wednesday, and we're still recruiting more volunteers for Wednesday. So on a Wednesday we go in there, start cooking those protein first, and then we have Bruce Owen who volunteers to collect food. So he's our first pickup person. He comes back with a truck of food on Wednesday. Rescue from Aldi Swiss Chef, who's one of our partners, and Aldi Swiss Chef collects food from supermarkets and so forth, and they give us a portion of what they have. So when the food comes back, that's when our volunteers start basically working those vegetables and so forth into the first lot of meals. And then Thursday, the crew comes in on the Thursday. So Wednesday, we normally have about 9 volunteers. On the Thursday, we have between 16 to 20. Okay, so this is where the chaos comes in because you've got so many people in the kitchen. And what I do is I look at the roster. So we have a very flexible roster. Our volunteer signs in the days they can work. I look at it the night before and I allocate them to groups. So for example, with sausages, I'll put them in a group and they can do whether they want to do sausage stew, curry sausages. It's up to the crew. And if it's mince, they might want to do burgers or meatballs and so forth. We have a lot of frankfurts. You might see one of these the video, sweet and sour frankfurts, right? So we try to be creative with our food as well. So then by the end of the day, we could probably maybe, depending on the number of volunteers, we could have between 450, 600. One Friday we did 1,200 meals. The volunteers went crazy that day. You know. They packed a lot of freezers, but that's what we do. So then whatever we do on a Wednesday, we don't finish, then the Thursday group takes over. They'll continue packing, working with whatever left over from the Thursday, and then on the Friday, basically that's where we wrap up everything. We utilise everything that's we could possibly use. Whatever we don't use, we try to par cook them and we freeze the rest. And then whatever we can't use, one of our volunteers takes it to another pantry for people to help themselves too. So we try to minimize waste all the way through from start to finish. So that's what we do. So the record for our meals is 2,000 in the 1 week. So we still have a big one.
Wow, that's amazing. How you can help as Rotarians. As our need for meals continues to grow, so does our need for support. We're always looking for food, especially staples like proteins, grain and fresh vegetables. Of course, we're always looking for funding because it costs us about $3 to produce every meal. And the funding that we get covers essentials like rent, containers, kitchen equipment that we buy, and also key ingredients that we haven't had donated. We're always looking for time. We're always looking for volunteers, and we welcome new volunteers with open arms. And also, we're always looking for connection to supporters, food donors, local councils, and other community partners. Every little bit helps in this quest. A tray sealed, an hour volunteered, a connection made, helps us feed more people more often with dignity and care. If you or someone you know can help, please reach out. It truly makes a difference to us. What's next for FOFA? We're now looking to the future, working to expand our kitchen capacity to try and get those 200,000 meals that are badly needed out in the community. We're also developing school and youth-focused programs and strengthening both our infrastructure and our partnerships. And all that while staying true to our founding motto, which is making a difference one meal at a time. Making a difference one meal at a time. At this point, I'd like to hand over to Lili again. Lili, as I have told you before, is the heart and engine of FOFA. And Lili has an idea of where we are going with our second kitchen program, mentoring and cooking programs for youth, and also, very importantly, she's just started working with a school-based food program. So can you tell us a little bit about the kitchen first, the second kitchen, and then perhaps the food program. And
Okay. So keep down. Like Chapel, they can only give us maximum 3 days because they've got their other programs they're running as well. And so we've basically maximised the space we have in both the kitchen. And I would love to invite you guys to come along and see what we do. We have a storage area where we've got about 7 freezers in there that's packed with our meals. And the thing is also you can't put all your eggs in one basket because one Friday we went in there, the power had gone out 2 o'clock in the morning and we had 2,000 meals in there. Luckily, we had a lot of volunteers that day. We contacted our agencies and all our volunteers, all they did was pack meals into their cars and dispatch them to different agencies to save those meals. So, but in order for us to produce the number of meals to help more people, we're looking now at a FOFA number 2. So we've been talking to churches, we've been talking to the various councils as well. Council says, yep, we'll do something, we'll try to help you, but we're still talking. So maybe you may know a real estate agent, you may know someone out there who's got a warehouse that's sitting there, not doing much. Maybe you can perhaps start a conversation on our behalf as well. So that's FOFA number 2. And what we want to do is with FOFA number 2, we will train up a whole group of new volunteers so that the pressure is not on FOFA number 1. That's what we intend to do. In terms of the future programs for kids, we've just started trialing some kids' lunches. So we hear that a lot of kids, because of the working poor families, parents, the first thing they give up is food. The kids are being sent to school without food. And so what we're doing is we want to dispatch a whole lot of meals to the agencies we're working with, the agencies that know the families that are struggling, and they will basically hand over those meals to those families. So what we're doing is we're sending those kids to school with frozen meals where they can thaw out during the day and have them basically fresh. So we started, I haven't got photos yet, but we started working on ham and vegetable noodles, and it was really tasty because we tasted it last week. We did zucchini slices. So once it's thawed out, it's actually quite nice. And then we did the pinwheels, the ham and cheese pinwheels. But we want to have about 6 different types of food so that the kids can actually choose their own as well. So that's that. But the other one is we want to work. So I've just recently returned from Vietnam. Whilst over there, I actually worked with 20 disadvantaged kids. I taught them how to cook. What we want to do is so far, we want to work with the community, the disadvantaged community kids to get them into food so that we can actually introduce them to eating better food and starting them with some sort of life skills. Because what we find is that kids, I do a lot of teaching, whether it be activation in shopping centres or community classes and so forth. With a lot of kids, I find that once they make their own food, they tend to eat them. And that's what we want to do. We want to start that project moving forward as well. But that's just some of the stuff that we have in mind, and we need a lot of help to move them forward. So, thanks, Nick.
thank you. Thank you, Lili. Anything you want to say to these good folk before I close? Thank you for inviting us, I guess.
Thank you, Barb, for inviting us along, and thank you for your patience and time listening to what we have to say. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just finish and we'll just go to questions. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you anyway for allowing us to share our focus story tonight. Thank you for listening. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything you as Rotarians do to help our communities. Thank you very much. If anything you've heard has touched your heart, if you want to volunteer, donate, collaborate, or simply find out more, come and chat to us afterwards, or we will take questions depending on how much time we've got. And the great thing is, as Rotarians, as FOFA, all of us together, we can ensure that no one in the community is left behind. Together, we can make a difference one meal at a time. And that's really important. Because a meal can be more than just food. It can be the time, the moment someone remembers that they're not alone. Thank you for having us. It's been a very, very great pleasure, and we'll take questions, please.
Okay, so people hear about us, and so we on our website, we're under Get Involved. You can actually the agencies themselves can register to become a partner to access our meals. They've got to fill in a form, and what happens is once they fill in their form, Nick would go and interview them. Okay, we do not just hand our meals to anybody. We want to make sure the agencies are doing the right things and giving our meals to people who really need them. We had one agency in the past, they were just taking our meals and just popping them out for anybody to help themselves. When we found that out, we thought, well, that's not the right thing to do, because the people that really need them should be getting them, not just people wanting to cook a meal and not wanting to cook. So Nick or myself, we go and interview the agencies, making sure they have the right facilities to store our meals, because they come frozen. And so yeah, that's what we do. And once they qualify, then we can dispatch the number they require. They request.
So Lily, where do you get your major funding from?
So we get funding from, at the moment we got funding recently from Knox Council. We got 20,000 for food relief, and that's for the year. Last year we were given 5,000 for Morinda, and bear in mind what happens is when there is a grant out there, not only are we applying for the grant, all the other agencies are also applying for the same grant.
Correct, right.
But even though we are providing meals to those agencies, we are all competing for the same grants. So what we do is
It's all right.
So we apart from those grants, we have now a number of people are hearing about us. We have every time we do a pop up at Bunnings or we do a food store somewhere, we're out there in uniform. People hear about us. We get some sort of donations from the community. We also now we have a corporate volunteering program we're running, and that's been happening for the last couple of years. So when the RACV, for example, came in a fortnight ago, they came in to volunteer with us, but they also donate the ingredients for that day. So that helps us buy the ingredients. We had ANZ in last week, so the same thing happened. And ANZ enjoyed it so much that they booked in another day from October. Yeah.
One last question.
In rights where as far as where everyone gets their food, I've been eating your food a lot and I've been really enjoying it.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. The name was in one of the words, but now I know where it's coming from.
The perfect circle.
Same. It was a delicious lunch at work.
Wow.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, there you go.
Last question.
Okay, so going back many years ago, my son was chosen by Ringlet Rotary to attend the youth forum in Canberra. And so as a result of that, then I joined Rotary. And I was there for a number of years, and then I quit because it was just the stress of rushing back from work in the city to get to the meeting. And I was always late, always, cause a drama because everybody says, oh, she should be fined more for being late to do it. But the thing is, back in those days, you've got to be in attendance at least, I think, 50% of the time or something rather, or whatever. Yeah, so it was too stressful for me. So I quit Retreat, but I stayed on as a friend. And so it's now Morinda Retreat. And every year at their fundraiser, the Golf Day, I volunteer for the day, and they've got Lily's noodles up there. And so we cook, whether it be Singapore noodle and pad thai, but we cook to feed the golfers before they go on a golf course. Yeah, so I'm still a friend. But I'm also, I can be a friend of Retreat here as well.
I'll now call on Simon to give thanks. Thank you.
Lovely to meet both of you.
Thank you.
And I think on behalf of Lilydale Rotary, I'll stand this way. I'd like to present you both with a small gift and a token of appreciation for sharing with us today. But before I do that, I actually have a couple of quick questions. Do you do dessert because I'm a sweet tooth?
We
You
do
do?
the best desserts here.
Excellent. And in terms of it, you explained that typically the protein determines the recipe. Are there any recipes you'd love to make but you just don't have the protein?
Yes, so a lot of our clients have even asked for lobsters. Or Christmas or something.
And the last comment, which is not a question, but throughout the presentation, Nick, you mentioned an ingredient that I'm quite partial to myself, and that's love.
Yes.
I have a mum that loves to cook, and she cooks with love, and it really does make the difference in the meal. So congratulations and more strength to both of you. So as a token of our appreciation, a small gift for Rotary Lilydale.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you for allowing me to
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
just in front of the
flags.
I'll look after that for you. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
This program.
One more.
You guys on Facebook?
Oh, yes.
One is on camera now, she put it on Facebook straight away.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.
We'll take one for Facebook, yeah.
Come up.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So I can pop it straight on our
We're
Facebook.
flexible.
Yes. We don't find people here either.
And that's what find is Richard.
So then you should find.
That's old school.
Yeah.
Old school.
Hey, we do join up. We do virtual.
Yeah, you don't even have to actually come to a physical meeting. You come online. I've zoomed in from the middle of Australia. I'm like out in the bush.
Okay, right.
All right, thank you for a great presentation. Very, very well done.
You're welcome.
I will now hand over to our Vice President, who has nearly a page of stuff. I'm so lucky. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard and Lily and Nick. That was excellent. I really disappoints me that we actually need your service. There's that many people in the world that are actually in need of all the additional help that we have to hand out. Okay, so we'll start at the top of the list. The Bunnings barbecue next week, next Sunday. We've had a pretty good turnout of on the roster. But having said that, there's quite a few names that have repeated themselves. So anyone else who's interested in putting a hand up and turning a few sausages for a couple of hours, that would be terrific. We'll send this out again maybe Thursday night and see if we can get any more response. Before we go today, we need to talk about who's buying what and whatever else. Andrew?
I report the.
Yep.
Thing.
If not, just talk about that before we go. So that's that one. We've started the market's about to restart Sunday week, 5th of October. At the moment, we've probably got well above 20 plus stalls already committed to coming back. A few of the regulars have said, look, we're not coming back unless you go back to Bellbird Park, but we all know that story. So that's well underway. I've got the roster here in my hand. No one leaves room for their name on the roster. It's a Sunday. They're not going to the grand final. Yeah, so are we. Yeah, so in seriousness, we need to have some names on that. We'll send that out again as well. What are we up to now? Okay, the Domestic Violence Community Forum is on the 8th of October over at the Chipara House in Durham Road, is it? Yep. Arun will send out an email next week to line up some volunteers. At this stage, the club members, the volunteers will just need to be probably a bit of chaperoning, just pointing to chairs and sort of just helping whatever needs to be done. So there's nothing too specific, but we will need some people to do that. Unfortunately, Jude and I are going to be somewhere else on that night.
Jude, question?
Yes, darling.
There will be need for welcoming. What else did Arun say? Mic, the handing around the microphone.
Roving mic.
Yeah, roving mic. There was a third one. I can't remember.
And probably something to do with the dealing with the food on the night.
Yeah.
There's going to be some little bit of food offered as part of that.
The catering's by Chipara House, isn't it?
No, I think it's actually Lilydale CFO. Actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, close. Okay. All right. Now we've you and I are going apparently. And you. So this is our major fundraiser for this part of the year is our Hip and Miss Night. What we've got here is we've put together a letter as a request for donations and gift certificates. What we need is to actually generate some prizes or gift certificates or something for the raffle we want to run on the night. So we've actually put together a page here that we put in front of what used to be Rainbow Meats in Churnside Park. The new businesses has said yes, they'll come on board. So we've probably got one gift certificate already from a business that we can support and do all that. So what I'm hoping is that if anyone's interested in talking to other businesses that might be interested in providing a gift or some sort of certificate, so they'd like to take they'll get 2 copies of that. They want to take the letter and the flyer with them, and they could have a bit of a chat about it. So
There's some metal artwork, dragonflies.
oh yes, yeah. I'll pay that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is it? That was that.
Look, we're thinking probably a raffle as a ticketed raffle, I think.
The good stuff is that you bargain for it.
Yeah, when we were at the Holy Fools fundraiser.
You've got prices where
Finish being recorded.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
prices where $100+.
Yeah, his last bit of artwork sold for 600
Yeah.
that he had at a
Oh
raffle.
yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's good stuff.
Julie noted.
Yeah. Go to the tram cafe.
Okay.
Talk to them, so I know the person there.
All right, well, you can take the other one then, and
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
that'll be fine. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Well, I think that brings us down now to birthdays. So, young Andy, 5th of September. Yeah. How many times over? Anne Kenyon, 29th of September. Daniel Turchett, 10th of September. Remember that? Or? Yeah. Yeah. Let's get back to the education. Yeah, Renata Hartley. Excuse me.
Right, take control. Oh, I'm in control. Sorry. It's recording.
Yeah. Renata Hartley, 21st of September. Anne Wheeler, 22nd of September. Andrew Badaway, 11th of September. Sorry? Oh, okay. Yeah. And Evan Whelan, 25th of September. So coming up in early October will be Cheryl Mackay at 2nd of October and Madeline Parlett, 15th of October. We see them again this year. I think that's probably all I need to do if I close. Sorry? What am I missing?
Philip Perry.
Oh, okay, inductions. I beg your pardon. Okay, Philip Perry, 36 years and 11 months, 1st of September 1988. So, all right, that's about it. Might hand it back over to the.
You may.
I may not first, Mike.
Yeah, yes. I'll just.
Last Friday, I met with Jerry and Anne, and we started a conversation about the giving tree or wishing tree. Wishing tree. So I just wanted to share with the club that the conversation went really well, and I think that we'll have an opportunity this year to probably be a lot more involved potentially in that program. They're going to need certainly a lot of help, and I'm really looking forward to being a part of that and calling on all of us members to make that an even bigger project than it was last year. I think from memory they had around 2,000 toys to give away last year, so we want to try and exceed that as well. So I'll have further updates. It was just an initial conversation, and obviously need to understand how that process works, but it is, I guess, in a state of transition, shall we say.
Thank you, Simon. Judith, did you ask for time?
Only what I mentioned earlier. Yep.
Okay. Anyone else got anything that they'd like to add before we close the meeting? I close the meeting. Ding. Thank you everyone for coming.